Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We're in Washington Square Park.
The band stopped now.
The band stopped playing, so we started recording. And we're not sure what's going to happen after this. But you'll hear it in the background, a bit of background music. Hopefully you'll still be able to hear us.
Yeah.
Krishna willing. Just move this up a little bit closer for male larynx. Okay, so we're reading from the Bhagavatam. Where are we reading?
Canto 4, chapter 20, text 21.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 21. The original king, Maharaj Prithu, his eyes full of tears and his voice faltering and choked up, could neither see the Lord very distinctly nor speak to address the Lord in any way. He simply embraced the Lord within his heart and remained standing in that way with folded hands. Just as Krishna is addressed in the Brahma Samhita as Adi Purusha, the original personality, so King Prithu, being an empowered incarnation of the Lord, is referred to in this verse as Adi Raja, the original or ideal king.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop. I can't even hear you. I know no one online can hear you. Done. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, although I love music, love jazz music, but it's just a little too loud. You can still hear it in the distance, but we had to move a little bit to resituate ourselves. So we're gonna start again. We'll leave all the invocation and everything. But
Alright, text 21. The original king Maharaj Prithu, his eyes full of tears and his voice faltering and choked up, could neither see the Lord very distinctly nor speak to address the Lord in any way. He simply embraced the Lord within his heart and remained standing in that way with folded hands. Purport. Just as Krishna is addressed in the Brahma Samhita as Adi Purusha, the original personality, so King Prithu, being an empowered incarnation of the Lord, is referred to in this verse as Adi Raja, the original ideal king. He was a great devotee and at the same time a great hero who conquered over all undesirable elements in his kingdom. He was so powerful that he was equal in fighting to Indra, the king of heaven. He gave protection to his citizens, keeping them engaged in pious activities and devotion to the Lord. He did not collect a single cent of taxes from the citizens without being able to give them protection from all calamities. The greatest calamity in life is to become godless and therefore sinful. If the state head or king allows the citizens to become sinful by indulging in illicit sex life, intoxication, meat eating and gambling, then the king is responsible and he has to suffer the resultant sequence of reactions for the sinful lives of the citizens because he levies taxes on them unnecessarily. These are the principles for a ruling power, and because Maharaj Prithu observed all the principles for a ruling chief, he is referred to here as Adi Raja.
Turned it the wrong way. Oh, I see.
What? It's interesting. It's not a political channel in any way and we are not controversial, but as we film this, I think it is interesting that what we just read, because as we film this, the President of the United States of America has just stepped down and will not be going on to contest, to be in the elections in November. So here is a leader of the free world, as it were. And here Prabhupada is giving the qualifications for a leader, and it seems that the leader is always looking out for the people, and actually the people feel protected, literally protected, and feel I am sheltered, and someone isn't just squeezing money and taxes and work out of me for their own pleasure or whatever they're using the taxes on. You know, it's really interesting, the qualities of a leader is to be righteous and God-fearing, and yeah, we don't always see that in any modern leader, I'm saying, but I just thought it was interesting that the current leader has had to step aside, as it were. But I don't think that they were basing that decision on these qualifications,
Definitely
unfortunately. And I don't know if the next person who takes over will be ticking these boxes and therefore make the people feel we'll go for you.
Yeah, actually I wonder amongst society in general, I mean even if we just stick with America, who's really interested even in a God inspired society. Because here it says the greatest calamity in life is to become godless and therefore sinful. So if the state head or king allows the citizens to become sinful, then the responsibility is on him. But that's happening everywhere, you know. We see it's indulged upon. People are arguing and fighting how many gambling houses can we open, how many bars can be opened, you know. Here in New York, marijuana is decriminalized, even though it's illegal federally, but the state has decriminalized it. So it's like, you know, people are actually, the people want to be sinful, and therefore the leaders are encouraging that. And if people are told not to be, they consider it a restriction on their freedom. You know? Anyway. Drum solo ki jai. Okay. Dear Lord. Alright. So a very short paragraph for me. Even a responsible king like Maharaj Prithu can become a pure devotee of the first order. We can distinctly see from King Prithu's behavior how he became ecstatic both externally and internally in pure devotional service. Yes, because his verse begins by highlighting that that actually King Prithu was experiencing, like shedding tears of ecstasy. So this is a great king, but it just goes to show that a great king can also love God and, you know, in that way shed tears of love for God, but still be protecting and looking after the citizens.
Next paragraph. Just today we have seen in the newspapers of Bombay that the government is going to repeal its prohibition laws. Ever since Gandhi's non-cooperation movement, Bombay has been kept dry and has not allowed its citizens to drink. But unfortunately, the citizens are so clever that they've increased illicit distillation of liquor. And although not being sold publicly in shops, liquor is being sold in public lavatories and similar abnormal places. Unable to check such illicit smuggling, the government has decided to manufacture the liquor at cheaper prices so that people can have their supply of intoxication directly from the government. They're not making anything out of it. Instead of purchasing it in public lavatories. The government failed to change the hearts of the citizens from indulging in sinful life. So instead of losing the taxes, they collect to inflate the treasury. They've decided to manufacture liquor to supply to the citizens who hanker after it. I mean, that's the classic example here in New York. Cannabis is legal, and you can just walk like in England. You walk into Tesco's and Sainsbury's, or like your friendly corner shop. In all seriousness, you can just walk into your average shop on the street and get your whatever, however they sell it in an ounce or pound of cannabis, whatever, and then go away and be happy.
Be stoned anyway. Yeah.
So that's quite crazy actually. And you know, here we have people's lives being ruined, but it's legalized, and like Prabhupada says, the government ain't going to miss out on making their taxes and their money, you know. And like you were saying, people are mostly still doing time for when it was illegal. You couldn't sell it anymore. I wonder if there's a, you know, as a lawyer, you could actually make a lot of money to fight that now, appeal that, well, actually, you've legalized it now, so why are these people still in jail? You know, that's a good point.
Actually, but thinking about it, that was what someone told me the other day, is that it's illegal federally. So the country of America has not legalized it, but states have the right to decriminalize. So New York has decriminalized, but I guess still one could argue, yeah, in New York I was selling marijuana before, but anyhow, that's
when I was when I was growing up, it wasn't that long ago, just so you know, but when I was a kid and my dad would go to India, it was he don't drink, my dad and mum, my parents don't drink, but I don't agree with this, but people that did drink in India, so he would obtain a liquor license, because you needed a liquor license to drink, to buy alcohol, which, you know, growing up in England, what's going on, Dad? Why do you need to do that? You know, well, why are you doing that anyway? First of all, why you know, it's weird, and you know, it's like.
So why would your dad do that?
For the relatives and friends, for one thing, because, you know, if you're coming from the West, you clearly made the money, because can you pick up he'd apply for the license as someone going in from the West, he could get a liquor license. He could.
And then you could bring it into the country.
No, he wouldn't bring it in, meaning
free.
he could buy it there. He could drink. He'd have a license to. It would, because it was illegal in the small village I came from, and the small part of Gujarat that I come from. So it was illegal. But if you have like a gun permit, you can have it. So if someone sees you drinking, it's like, hey, you got your permit? Here it is. Like that, you have to get a permit. But I'm just saying, it's like, you might think, what's she talking about? That was a fact. And so Prabhupada here is saying that, because otherwise, yeah, you could not do that in Gujarat. Now you can. You don't need the license, but unfortunately now you can. But yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Anyways, they say the times they are changing. Okay, so last paragraph of the purport. This kind of government cannot check the resultant actions of sinful life, namely war, pestilence, famine, earthquakes, and similar other disturbances. Nature's law is that as soon as there are discrepancies in regard to the law of God, which are described in Bhagavad Gita and Dharmasya Glani, or disobedience to the laws of nature of God, at once there will be heavy punishment in the form of sudden outbreaks of war. We have recently experienced a war between India and Pakistan. Within 14 days there have been immense losses of men and money, and there have been disturbances to the entire world. These are the reactions of sinful life. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant to make people pure and perfect. If we become even partially pure, as described in the Bhagavatam, Nasta Prayeshwa Abhadreshu. Nasta Prayeshwa Abhadreshu. By development of Krishna consciousness, then lust and greed, the material disease of the citizens, will be reduced. This can be made possible simply by broadcasting the pure message of Srimad Bhagavatam or Krishna consciousness with a drum solo. Oh no, that's not it. Krishna consciousness. Big commercial and industrial firms have contributed many thousands of rupees to a defense fund that burns the money in the form of gunpowder. But unfortunately, if they are asked to contribute liberally to advance the Krishna consciousness movement, they are reluctant. Under the circumstances, the world will periodically suffer from such upsurges and outbreaks of war, which are the consequences of not being Krishna conscious. So this is interesting. So Prabhupada is stating that, war is breaking out. This is driven by the fact that people are not Krishna conscious. And of course we know that Bhagavad Gita is spoken on a battlefield, and Krishna was personally present. Now I guess you could argue that war was also because people were not Krishna conscious. But yeah, Krishna was personally present, and there were a lot of people who were Krishna conscious. So sometimes it's just hard to imagine that we'll ever create a utopia here in the material world, the best we can do is ourselves become Krishna conscious and try not to be affected by loud jazz music in the middle of a park.
The jazz music is one thing,
But what's the other thing?
but for me, but for me it's the,
Smell of marijuana?
yeah, I think it's gross personally, and it's nicely wafting this way because two gentlemen just on the other side of this, you can't see it on the other, two gentlemen are partaking in illegal substances, which
Well, they're not illegal.
well,
We just had a
illegal
whole
for those of
conversation
us
about
who are from the United Kingdom anyway.
Well,
And the smell's gross. I don't like it. I'd rather have the drum solo.
well, back in the day, I would have been digging on the drum solo and the marijuana.
Right, on that point,
On that point, maybe we should finish.
yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.